Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday, a start of a brand new week. My name is Graham Day. This is an empty chair where baby should be. Toilet break, countdown life, that's what it is. Anyway, welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Mufflers. My name is Graham. This is The Scoop. That's the name, dedicated to the fact that we are Ice Cream, a team of Twitch streamers. You know what? The coolest, another ice cream pun, video game channel in the world. And this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video games podcast. Even if we do say so ourselves. And if you want to know what this show is about, we give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking news stories from the worlds of video games each and every single weekday at around 10 a.m. usually, although we have put it back till 11 a.m. because we've been tinkering with some stuff on stream. Nice toilet break, babe.
That was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
So yeah, we bring you our thoughts and impressions, and we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. If you are live on Twitch, then make sure you do get involved in the chat, because we turn this into a YouTube video and an on-demand podcast. It's on-demand podcast. There we go, got there eventually. You can tell it's a Monday morning, which we upload to iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So like I said, if you are in the chat, get involved, because everyone else listening on demand afterwards don't have the ability to chat directly to the man that we call Bibberino, just like you do. Good weekend, Bib?
Yes, I played a lot of FIFA.
A lot?
A lot. Like, literally a stupid amount. Basically, we've got a little tournament between me and my friends, actually on tournament. So instead of just playing clubs all the time, which is all we ever did on FIFA, they decided that they wanted to make a tournament out of it. So I'm just going to drop it in the chat now.
Is this the one that you lost in the final to the other day as well?
Yeah, but we're on season 3 now. This is what I mean. This is how much we've been playing. So I lost on the last day in season 1. And then season 2, I came runner-up on that one again. Lost out on the last day. I needed to be edgy to go top. And I ended up drawing 2-2. Absolutely livid. So ended up losing out on that one. And then season 3 we started yesterday afternoon. Again, I'm second. I'm just coming runner-up every year at the moment.
I was a bridesmaid.
I was a bridesmaid. That's what I mean, yeah. Never the bride.
Well, I didn't play any FIFA over the weekend. You'll be surprised to know. I didn't play that much games, to be fair. I had almost a weekend off video gaming, because we've been watching Money Heist on Netflix, which is really good. It's really good. I'm quite a simple person, so watching video content that's dubbed English over the original language, so in this case Spanish, it usually takes me a while to get into it, but the program is really good. So we've just started I think we're halfway through season 3 of 4 seasons. It's really good. And then played some Warzone last night. No dubs, unfortunately.
Just playing on your own, or was you in a trio? Or in a quadruple, or whatever it is nowadays?
Trios and duos. Although, I like the fact that they mix up the playlist, but I don't like the fact that some days they just don't cater to certain audience sizes. So usually there's 3 of us, and that's alright, because usually you can get trios. But yesterday there was no duos. There was plunder trios, battle royale trios, battle royale quads, which was fine for the first couple of hours. But then when one of the group went off, it was me and my mate Martin last night, and we were having to do obviously everything outnumbered. So we went into plunder, man down. Went into battle royale, man down. But yeah, just is what it is. But good morning to another Warzone legend, Mr. Asim Tanvir. Or Tassim Anvir, we don't know. We think this one is Mr. Asim Tanvir, noted industry legend as opposed to noted industry leaker. Good morning, Mr. T. How's things? Good weekend. Were you on Warzone?
Hello.
I bet you got a few dubs this weekend, didn't you? I bet you did. With some mild PG swearing as you clench the dub, as we saw on your social media. Fuck you. Get out of here, bitch. But yeah, anyway, big news. All good. Yeah, lots of Warzone. Nice. We do have some big news today compared to last week, which, like I said, it was kind of up and down. Obviously, we were consistent. The quality of the news wasn't, but the quality of the analysis is always beyond reproach. We'll jump to split screen now. We've got with us. There he is. So quite a big story, and we've chosen to use this article to cover it because, spoilers we don't want all the spoilers. You don't want all the spoilers, so job's done. Anyway, but this, written by GameCentral for Metro, says The Last of Us Part 2 has been leaked and spoilers are everywhere, but not here. So one of the biggest secrets from The Last of Us Part 2 has already leaked, but will that convince Sony to release it earlier than planned, is the question asked. Given the game was already almost finished when The Last of Us Part 2 was indefinite delayed, it was...
1 second, Graham. Connie, no, we're not going to be giving away spoilers. This article doesn't give away spoilers either. It's just mentioning that certain areas of the story has been...
Yeah, good morning, Corey. Corey? I can't speak, I've got a sweet in my mouth. Good morning, Connie. There we go, got there eventually. Yeah, no, I would be heartbroken if I got spoilers right now, because, you know, Last of Us being possibly my favourite game of all time, if I had the spoilers. So that's kind of difficult for us, trying to cover all the news without getting the spoilers for ourselves, but yeah, nothing in this article should be spoilerous, so we shouldn't be passing that on to you. Given the game was almost where did I get to? Was that what I got to? Yeah, okay. Given that the game was already almost finished when The Last of Us Part 2 was indefinite delayed, it was inevitable that details would leak out sooner or later. And although there have already been some, the new videos doing the rounds at the moment are a spoiler apocalypse for those that want to play the game themselves. That's where it was hard to read with that. Sony has been furiously trying to take down the videos from YouTube and elsewhere all weekend, but they're still relatively easy to find if you catch them between takedowns. We're not going to link to them or repeat the spoilers here though, because all they're going to do is ruin the experience for others. It's not too hard to find if you really want though. And if nothing, if nothing else proves two things: the graphics are looking incredible, and the story is not scared to take some unexpected turns. There are multiple different videos, and they're very clearly the real thing. Since a game as good looking as The Last of Us Part 2 is impossible to fake, since few people will have seen all of the footage and details, it'd be easy to fake some of the plot details. But if you want to stay spoiler free, be very careful about clicking any videos or news stories about the game from now on. The leak is supposedly from a disgruntled tester upset about their pay, and certainly the footage seems to be from an alpha build dated from last month. But whether it's true or not, all that matters is that the footage is real, and so it seems are the spoilers. So when will The Last of Us 2 be released? 29th of May. We don't need to cover that bit, but that's it. Whew, there we go.
What do you think?
It pains me to put this discussing now on screen, but The Last of Us Part 2 has been leaked. One thing I don't know, I mean, I'm going to be upfront and honest, I have no knowledge of the context of this. I don't want to click on anything, just like Connie's just been asking then. Welcome, Joe. Thank you very much for the follow. Good morning. Yeah, I've not wanted to click on any of the news articles. I've not wanted to click on any stories. I've not wanted to click on anything. I've seen people saying, well, that's me just scrolling through my timeline and The Last of Us has now been ruined. So I've kept away from all of it. So I don't know what the context is. The only bit that I've heard that, because my initial thing is, you absolute set of bastards. That's what I always go to. But the bit that I don't know, so maybe if anyone's in the chat and has done their own research or seen bits, the bit that he touched on about it was being one of the playtesters angry at their pay. The leak is supposedly from a disgruntled tester upset about their pay, and certainly the footage seems to be from an alpha build data from last month. I mean, I don't know what to say on that because I don't have all the information. My initial gut reaction is you are being paid, you are contracted, and you've signed an NDA to get access to one of the biggest properties that is going to be released on this generation, or at least one of the last major ones anyway. Surely you can't just go, oh, actually, I've signed a contract and I was expecting to get my money, and now I'm not happy with it, I'm just going to leak it all. So I don't know what the context of that is. Does anybody know that? Do you know that?
No, but I would assume that I mean, working in the industry ourselves, when we're working on stuff, we have to sign NDAs. Likewise, when we're working on behalf of someone and we subcontract them out, or we do an event or something, we have to get people who are participating to write NDAs, sign NDAs as well. So you'd think that this would technically be a criminal offence more than anything. If you've got the footage and it's been given to you in goodwill, you're being paid for it, and then you're deciding to leak it, especially if you're thick enough to put your fucking name on there. Then yeah, I would absolutely assume that they will be taking legal action against them, because it should be a criminal offence, if anything.
It is. I mean, it is a criminal offence. It'd be interesting to see whether this disgruntled tester, as they've for us in this article, has put their ID out. I would say not, because there's nothing referenced in this video, and it only says supposedly. So the leak is supposedly from a disgruntled tester. But yeah, they will have absolutely been covered by legalities for not being able to do that. What they've done there is essentially broken the law. Some people have been replying to warning tweets with spoilers as well. Think whenever this happens, which seems to be a lot of AAA games, they're breaking NDA. Yeah, absolutely, 100% NDA being broken there. I never get why people leak stuff over a pay dispute, because if you get found out, you won't get paid again. If you get fired, and then possibly have to pay out if you get sued. Yeah, exactly.
Well, pretty much, if you're doing it to a game like this, and you are going to be out of the industry within seconds, no one's going to want to work with you again. And the legal ramifications of Sony coming after you for a start is going to be massive. So, well, I mean, he won't be able to work from behind bars if they ever get caught anyway. So, yeah, it's a very interesting situation. I mean, like you say, they already signed the contracts, they already negotiated, or whatever it may be, to be able to cover this, and it must be quite a big outlet or quite a large
it'll be
profile person.
No, it's not necessarily a news outlet. With it being a tester, I imagine. I mean, I could be wrong. Once again, just with the use of the word tester, that would imply to me employee. So like someone doing QA sort of stuff. So an in-house person.
Yeah.
Which then, I mean, that's where I don't know enough, because I'm saying you absolute shit show, basically, because you have a contract, you've got all of the legal side of things. Forget the fact that you're ruining the chance of playing through this clean for loads of people. Loads of people will get spoilers, as Connor's saying there. People are putting spoilers on warning tweets. So when you go, oh, there's a warning, I'm going to read what that says. Boom, spoiler in your face. You're like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's a horrible person thing to do. You are a horrible person if you do that kind of thing. But what I don't know, this is the bit where I'm like, what is the context? And I don't. The fact that the spoil's out there now kind of ruined, because I don't want to go looking for it. But is the context anything to do with the fact that the game was delayed? Because we were talking, the game has been delayed so that there was less crunch on the employees and so on. Is that what this comes from? Does it come from the fact that the employee is disgruntled because of his pay, because he's working 1 million hours, and his health and safety and his family time and all the rest of it, with COVID now on top of it? Is that why we're getting this leak now? And if that is it, I mean, do I think it's acceptable? No. Do I think it's also acceptable for him to be in that position? No. But two wrongs don't make a right. So,
no.
If you were bothered
about just that as well, do you reckon that they've held his pay back because the game's not out yet and he should have been paid by now, and they're waiting until the game's out because, like you say, he would have still had to Q test all of this game as it continues to go on? What was the reason why this got delayed? Was it just manufacturing, or they're still polishing?
It was
remember.
It was delayed due to the coronavirus. So the bit that I skipped over at the end was, when will The Last of Us Part 2 be released? The game was due to be out on the 29th of May, but is now indefinitely delayed thanks to the coronavirus. When the delay hit, the game was almost complete and was just undergoing final bug testing, so the main problem is not that it's not finished, but that Sony are worried about releasing it when it might be difficult to get physical copies to everyone. Right. Rumours have suggested the new release date is 26th June, and developer Naughty Dog's comments have certainly implied it will be out sooner rather than later, but officially there is no date and not even a guarantee that it will be out this year. It's absolutely got to be out this year. I mean, if consoles are out whole day 2020 for the next gen, then it's absolutely got to be out this year. You're not going to wait until all those consoles are out and then release it for a PS4 install base that's last gen.
Do you reckon imagine the flip? Imagine the flick the switch and said, actually, it's not coming out on the PS4 anymore. It's coming out on the PS5. They can't do that because they like I said, the install base is absolutely huge on the PS4. If you want more people playing it, bring it out on the console that everybody's got. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was to bring out a version that was bundled up with the PS5, especially if it's compatible.
Such a shit thing to do, though. Like, this game has not only been, what is it? How long is it since The Last of Us came out? That was PS3, so we're looking 7-8 years or whatever it is now. 7 or 8 years for what is a lot of people. I mean, I know I'm not like if someone says Disco Elysium is my favourite game of all time, you know that a lot of people like that game, but also not a lot of people in your friends group might say that is their favourite game. So you're kind of a unique person. I know if I said The Last of Us is probably my favourite game, I'm one of a bajillion people that also think the same thing. So I'm not unique in that, liking this game above many, many others. But, like, that... So take that in. Shed loads of people, I've avoided the swear there, like The Last of Us Part 2, they've been hyped about it. So not only have they waited 7 or 8 years since playing the first one to want to know where it goes next, but then they've gone through... when was it at E3? Was it 2018? So 2 years since we had that nice E3 when they had the bit where they made all of the crowd move from one room to the other. I mean, questions of whether that was the right way to do an E3 presentation, but from an outside perspective, because I wasn't at that one, it was really good. It was nice to watch. Well done. So, but 2 years ago, I'm thinking, okay, it was nice to watch, but give me a bit more. We've seen trailers, we've seen teasers, we've had some tech walkthrough stuff. Now, 2 years after the start from the proper launch, which is 6 years after the end of the first one, we're finally getting there, and it's been delayed. It's fine. We can wait. It's coronavirus. It's fine. And then as you sat there thinking, no, I'm not going to get angry. It's been delayed. Some whopper just goes out and goes, boom, there you go. There's the story. It's spoiled, leaked, and then that whopper then feeds all the other whoppers that then screenshot certain parts of it. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it will either be a death or someone will come back or whatever. There's going to be some twist in the story. Whatever it is, there will be a twist. And people are just screenshotting that and putting that straight on it. So once you've seen something straight away, something that one iconic scene, you can't unsee it. That's the definition of spoilers, and the fact that people are doing that is just a shit way to go. But anyway, comments in the chat. Physical copies would be could well be in a warehouse somewhere, just waiting for the crunch to blow over. Exactly, that's it. I mean, it takes a few weeks for discs to go gold. That whole process of printing them, packaging them, getting them all ready to be shipped, and so on. So yeah, absolutely, could be. Asim says, don't know all the details, but most probably to do with overtime pay if it's a QA person. Most QA people are on 0-hour contracts and not treated with the most respect, although that is changing in the industry. The person probably disgruntled because of this, lashed out like this. Horrible thing to do, should have just gone through proper routes to resolve. Absolutely. That's it. I completely agree. If you lash out like that, like I said, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And trying to take my end user hat off, you lash out like that. If you are that person that's been hard done so that you've got a shit contract, you are, in essence, being taken advantage of. In that sense, you feel that you've been taken granted of, and you feel aggrieved. You tried to do something positive change. You tried to affect positive change. Do something about it that's going to not only impact yourself positively, but others around you positively. Create some sort of movement. If you can't create a movement, if you don't have that going for you, then just escalate it through the natural routes. Doing this is not going to get them any financial recompense, and it's not going to put right any 0 hours contract work if that is the case. So this is just a shit show, a bit of infamy, and it's the video game equivalent of, what's it called when your ex posts your nude selfies or something like that, where it's that sort of like
revenge porn.
Yeah, that's it. This is revenge porn of the games industry. It's like, oh, well, you've not sorted me out, so here's your rude bits that you don't want anyone to see just yet. That's what this is. This is video games revenge porn. It's not nice. It's not nice. It's shit.
Well, the thing is that are they going to be infamous? Because one, they're never going to be able to show their name, so they're never going to get that kind of reputation, are they? So it's just spiteful. It's just spiteful. It's ruining something for everybody else because you're not getting what you want. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's infuriating, because what I want to do from the scoop standpoint is I want to jump through on, or I want to read what's happened. I want to try to find out all the rumours of where this person is and where they've come from, but I don't want to do any of that because I don't want all the spoilers. I want to play the game. I want to enjoy the experience.
You'll end up seeing some of it.
Yeah, absolutely will. Which is a shit thing, because as I'm saying it's kind of getting me even angrier knowing that there's no way I'm going to be able to escape this. But yeah, there we go. It is what it is. The question then, so let's move to one that they did pose in this. Will that convince Sony to release it earlier than planned?
No.
Good idea, Asim. He's muted the words. Oh, I just think of all the cool bits that you could miss, though. That's the only thing, and that's still an impact of this. The fact that you're having to mute words, you could have post by Neil Druckmann, which could be world-class key art, or it could be some insight into the development process, or hey Paul, thank you very much for the host. Good morning. How are you doing? Have you it's a bit early for you to be hosting it. Are you not usually on stream at this time? I don't know, but good morning anyway. Good morning. I can't remember what I was saying then. Oh yeah, that was it. You've muted the words. I mean, that's one way to stop it, but there's a negative impact on you for that as well, and the fact that you might lose out on some really good content because of these leakers again. I keep wanting to say dickheads, but I don't know the context, so that would be a bit judgmental.
I'd still, yeah. Well, not judgmental here, but you just leaked, 5 years worth of people's hard work just for the sake of a few quid. So yeah, you are a bunch of tossers.
Well, that's it. They're not even getting a few quid. It's just for the secret infamy. I mean, if we start to see another Aesthetic Gamer or Dusk Golem or whatever reputable leaker popping up, then they have done it for their own benefit. But yeah, it's shit moves. Okay, the question then, will that convince Sony to release it earlier than planned? That is a good question. I'm not sure there's much that Sony can do about it. If Sony's concerns are they don't want to release the game when they can't guarantee people are getting to it, you kind of have to stick to your guns. You can't change your business plan because of malicious leaks. Maybe they can go, okay, internally we had June the 26th as our launch date, possibly, it's a rumour, but actually, do you know what, we could go with June the 12th, launch 2 weeks earlier. Maybe it might have marginal differences inside where they can just roll it out a little bit sooner, but I kind of feel that if they've delayed it indefinitely with no confirmed release date now, because of someone being a malicious shit and leaking it all, like, you have to stick to your guns there. I can't see them pushing that out a bit earlier. Morning, lads, says Paul. Mondays are for the missus. Fair plays. Family time, important. Asim says, that is true. I normally browse the likes of you again, VG27. Plus, I have the scoop, hashtag ad. The £5 in the post. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm not even gonna give it any more airtime. It's something we could probably talk about for a little bit longer, especially if we want to do some digging into it. But long story short, there could be some underlying pay disputes and workplace issues. We don't have that information, and the worst thing for this person is people like us aren't going to go digging through to find that information either, because every time they try to see what your reasoning is for that leak, there will be spoilers everywhere. So if you have reasoning for that, not that there ever is really an excuse to do that sort of stuff, but if you have a reason to leak the full story and spoilers synopsis of a game, and you're doing that to share a message, you are hurting yourself, because people that really care and can make a difference are not going to go looking for it because they're just going to have spoilers everywhere. So yeah, as Baby said, toss out. Anyway, let's move forward. Speaking of sequels, one that's pretty close to me.
I was waiting for you to pick this one up.
Sticking with the Metro, this time written by Michael Beckwith. Shroud thinks that PUBG needs a sequel to be popular again. Shroud's clearly been listening to the scoop, because we've said this a few times. So it's a nice one, Shroud. I mean, feel free to drop in whenever you want. Yeah, absolutely. So when asked if PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds will ever become popular again, streamer Shroud suggests that the devs make a sequel instead. I mean, that's a bit charged, that. Well, if it'll ever become popular again, it's not at the level of it's high of its fame, but it's still massively popular. But anyway, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was once the king of Battle Royale genre, but as newer games have come out, such as Fortnite and Apex Legends, it has most assuredly lost its crown. What hasn't helped is a seemingly constant stream of issues and bugs, along with general player dissatisfaction with developer Bluepoint. This is in spite of the regular content updates, with Season 7 going live only a couple of days ago. With popularity waning, many have wondered if PUBG can ever truly recover, and well, streamer Shroud has a suggestion. Shroud used to stream PUBG himself quite regularly, but has long since quit the game. Currently, he's been streaming the beta of Valorant, a multiplayer shooter from League of Legends studio Riot. During a recent stream, as reported by Deserto, Shroud was asked by a viewer if he thought PUBG would ever be popular again, and he responded by saying that the game's best shot would actually be with a sequel. A quote within the article says, "It's very unlikely for it to boost back up in viewers and players. I've been saying this for a while. I think the best bet for PUBG is to make PUBG 2 or a different game or something." It's a somewhat damning indictment, as Shroud seems to be suggesting that PUBG is incapable of reclaiming its popularity, even if its current problems are addressed. While a sequel isn't theoretically impossible, it doesn't seem likely that Bluepoint would consider dropping support on PUBG to work on a new game entirely. Even if they did, PUBG's competition is stronger than ever before. Fortnite and Apex Legends have continued to evolve since their initial releases, so PUBG 2 would have something really special to coax away players of those games. Would have to be something really special, should I say. Do you know, I'm not a fan of articles like this, because the last paragraph basically saying, even if they did something special with PUBG, PUBG's competition is stronger than ever before. Fortnite and Apex Legends have continued to evolve since their initial releases. That point in its own is that's almost ignoring all of the issues that those are. I know a lot of Fortnite players that have stopped playing Fortnite because they don't like the current game. I know a lot more Apex Legends players that have stopped playing Apex because they don't like where the game has gone. Just like with PUBG. So it's almost saying that PUBG is a flawed and broken game. I mean, it is to some extent. Yeah. But it's also a really good game. It's a completely different game. It's also a game that's been around as PUBG in its guise that we know for 2 years, but then as PUBG since the early testing phases for the best part of 5 years. So, is it 4? It's just somewhere around there anyway. Longer than people realise. So that's the reason why it's waning. It had its early rise to fame, and then it had its moment in the spotlight, and now it's the bigger professional product that's trailing off. I do fully agree that they need a sequel, but it's a bit harsh to say that everything else is evolving and being successful whilst PUBG isn't. I don't think that quite summarises it. What are your thoughts as PUBG's biggest fan, babe?
I think that it does need to do something a little bit different. I feel it's had its day so far, but again, this is from the outside looking in, because I don't necessarily. I mean, I've got a copy over there that you very politely sent over to me, and I've got a copy on my PC that I actually paid for as well. So I do think it's had its day. I feel like it needs something different. I mean, I don't know about the timed events that they've got in there. Are they anywhere close? Well, they're not going to be anywhere close to Fortnite, because we've just seen 12.3 million people watch a Travis Scott concert within the Fortnite game itself. So there is still a lot in there for you to take from Fortnite. But I mean, is it the same? Is the battle pass the same every single time? Are you getting anything different? Are the updates frequent enough for you to be able to want to go back and try something new? I've absolutely no idea, because I don't play the game. Obviously, that's something that you would have to feed that information to me. But yeah, I do think that they need to try something a little bit different.
Yeah, I definitely feel that for the people that want the headlines, then PUBG needs a sequel. For the people that play PUBG, I don't think it does yet. Good morning, Chucky. How the devil are you, good sir?
Morning, mate.
Yeah, so the point I'm trying to make there is I play a lot of PUBG, and I've probably not played it for about 2 weeks now, which is the longest I've not played it forever. That's because I got my season pass finished. I got all the cosmetics and things that I would unlock in the season pass, so that I've used the time that I've had in the last couple of weeks to try other games. So I'm playing through a bit of Warzone. I've obviously not strayed too far away from the PR mechanic. I'm still playing PRs, but I've trying something else. Do I like Warzone? Yes. Do I like Warzone as much as PUBG? Not really. I don't think so. I like parts of both of them for different reasons. I think I still prefer PUBG when it works, when it's at its best. It's still, for me, the best battle royale game out there. However, do I think it being the best battle royale game out there, in my opinion, is enough for it to get back to the heights that it was at? No. And I think that there's a couple of reasons for that. One, it's a slower, more strategic game than any of the others out there. So if you want something that's bright and flashy, you've got Fortnite. If you want something that's got respawns and fast-paced action, you've got Call of Duty, and if you want something that's between the two, Apex Legends is there. And PUBG is almost like at one extreme end of the spectrum. It's a really good game for people that are interested in that and want to put in the grind. So it's got to be hard for it to win people over. But the issue is first impressions. You can't change a first impression. You don't get a second chance at a first impression. And PUBG's first impression for a lot of people, one thing people quite quick to forget when it comes to Twitch is most people that play games on Twitch will play on PC, and a large part of the PC, the viewing audience are PC players. But the extended audience, the mainstream audience, are all on console, or majority of them are anyway. So if you play PUBG on PC, you're having a good time, you've got HD textures, everything's loading, it's fine. But 2 years ago, you think, okay, I'm sat here at home with an Xbox or a PlayStation, I've been watching Shroud and Doc and Ninja before he jumped to Fortnite, all playing PUBG. They're playing it religiously, and now it's finally hit consoles. Okay, this is my time. So you load up PUBG, and 2 years ago it was in a horrendous state on consoles. Well, there we go. Gatekeeper TV. Good morning. Me and Gatekeeper played quite a few games, and quite often we'd land and have to just stand there and wait for the building to build around us. It's like, fucking hell, I'm supposed to be playing PUBG, not Fortnite. Why are buildings being built in front of me? And that's it. That's what I'm talking about. You don't get a second chance at a first impression. A lot of people that play the game, or have played the game, played it when it was bad. So that it will always be this bad game. It had promise, but it was never good. It had promise, and it was never perfect. And that's the kind of thing with it. So a lot of people have tried it. Oh, fuck it, my patience went thin. Okay, I'm gone. I'm on to Fortnite, and this is it for me. And PUBG fixed shed loads of that stuff. But the downside is, obviously, they're trying to balance the scales. They want to fix stuff and bring new people in. Fix stuff and make it secure for new people, but they want to add new content for the people that are already in there. And by adding more weight to it with the new content, they're breaking some of the stuff, so they keep having to try to fix it. And it's like chicken and egg scenario, but... Yeah. Craig says, you say that, but many streamers have returned to it. Break and Vis, to name a few. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I keep watching Break play it to be fair, he's playing it pretty often. But Break's kind of like a different case. PUBG's his all-time favourite game, and he was... Hey, Ads, thank you very much for the host. Very much appreciated. Good morning.
Yes, pal.
Babe, what does that emote say? I can't quite see it.
It says, ooh, hello.
Hey. So yeah, Break, it's his all-time favourite game. It's a game that he went pro in, and he won the first ever PUBG Solos Invitational event at Gamescom in 2018 or something. So for him, it's got huge memories. And Vis played in the same team as Break, so they were both pros. So you can understand why they would keep going back to it. Other streamers, you might think, not so much. But also, the thing is as well, they tend to go to it when other games have their flops. I mean, this article kind of almost implied that Fortnite and Apex have continued to evolve. I say almost implied, that's exactly what it said. But it almost implied that they were perfect, but they're not. And quite often Apex has periods where things just aren't working, or the balance and or the buffs or the nerfs that they put in have just completely upset the games and so on. So yeah, a lot of those guys that might have jumped off to Apex think, oh, do you know what, I'm not enjoying this, it's just armors and shields and cells and do you know what, feck it, I'm just going to go back to PUBG for a bit. They'll probably jump back pretty soon. Break not so much, but Vis will probably jump back. That said, Vis is doing more of what the Doctors as well at the moment, doing that, the World Tour stuff. Plays one game on one game and another, one game and another, kind of thing.
You get the best of it. You get the best of everything, then, don't you? You can try and play on the one until you get your win and then move on. But when people are that good, like me and you could be sat there streaming a triple threat challenge all day and not get a win. We're just stuck on the first game every single day. But as they get to cater to all different 3 or 4 different audiences because they're playing those 4 games and they managed to get 3 or 4 wins an evening or an afternoon in the games to be able to move on.
Yeah, I like that sort of mentality from a streamer's perspective as well. A triple threat. So for those of you that don't know, a triple threat might be win a game on PUBG, then win a game on Warzone, then win a game on Apex or Fortnite or whatever. So you get the PUBG fan base, you get the Apex fan base, you get the Fortnite fan base. But then you also get the hidden fourth fan base, which is a stream fan base. People just want to see competitive streams, and these are the people that might not be interested in League of Legends, but watch the League of Legends esports streams. They might not be interested in CS:GO, but they'll watch ECS or whatever. They just want to see if the competition can be done, if the milestone can be hit. So you'll just get people that watch the stream to see whether they can get to all three or not on the stream. I mean, me and Baby like he says, 12 days later, way we got to win. Paul says, incredible team, that TSM team. Still remember it winning the first solo match of the comp. That was peak esports, peak PUBG esports for me, and that it hadn't even started then. So yeah, let's go back. But yeah, back to the comment. Could PUBG be saved, and how? And Shroud saying a sequel would do it. I definitely think that is the case. I think you will only get diminishing circles at this point unless something in particular, like ridiculous, came out and changed it. But I can't see new content, new skins, or anything like that within the same game environment. I can't see that changing anything for PUBG, because people know what it is. People have their concept in mind. People started watching Battle Royale, or didn't start watching Battle Royale. I've played team deathmatches, I've played shooters. Why do I need to watch Battle Royale? But then when you watch it and it's a different concept, oh wow, this is something new, this is something different. PUBG almost needs that Battle Royale epiphany for PUBG, because if they just do more skins and stuff, I know what skins look like. Yeah, but this is a new one. Yeah, but there's been a million new ones. I'm not bothered. So either they need an epiphany within PUBG, something that changes the game, or they have to have a sequel that promises, okay, everything you liked about PUBG, but a bit slicker, a bit sharper, a bit faster with RTX and 100 frames per second or whatever. So yeah, that's what's going to save PUBG. If not,
it's just a different flavour in it. That's all we need.
Yeah, exactly. Shit words there saying save PUBG. PUBG doesn't need saving at all. They are making money hand over fist. But to say it's not popular is incorrect. To say it's not as popular as it was, yeah, that's a good summary. Anyway, I'm holding because I'm going to move forward. Let's get rid of the discussion now and jump into the next bit of news, which is that I'm going to make this full screen so it's easy for you guys to see. Nintendo confirms 160,000 Nintendo accounts accessed in hacking attempts. The issue started at the beginning of April. What a fecking world do we live in? Written by Tom Warren for The Verge. Nintendo is disabling the ability to log into a Nintendo account through a Nintendo Network ID after 160,000 accounts have been affected by hacking attempts. Nintendo says login IDs and passwords obtained illegally by some means other than our service have been used since the beginning of April to gain access to the accounts. Nicknames, date of birth, country and email addresses may have been accessed during the breach, and some accounts have experienced fraudulent purchases. Nintendo is now recommending that all users enable two-factor authentication. That's something you should be using for all your online accounts. Passwords are now being reset for affected accounts, and Nintendo is disabling the ability to log into a main Nintendo account through an NNID. These older NNIDs were used for 3DS and Wii U devices. Nintendo's latest Switch console uses a newer Nintendo account system, which until today could be linked to these older accounts. Affected users will also be notified via email, and the company has warned that if you've used the same password for an NNID and a Nintendo account, then your balance and registered credit / payment PayPal card details may be illegally used at My Nintendo Store or Nintendo eShop. Reports earlier this week suggested some accounts had been breached and people had been using them to buy digital items like bundles of Fortnite V-Bucks, and Nintendo is asking affected users to contact the company so it can investigate the purchase history and cancel purchases. Oh, we've lost Bib. Let's freeze frame.
You what?
There, he's back again. There we go.
I just heard something. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know.
What are your thoughts on that, babe?
Well, like you say, what a world that we're living in at the moment. What more? I mean, 160,000 accounts is a drop in the ocean compared to... That's one side of looking at it, but the other side is, Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean? I have two-factor authentication on pretty much everything that I could possibly have it for. Just because it's peace of mind. It's not going to stop absolutely everyone, but it can give you an idea of who is trying to get into your account. But it's dodgy. I thought Nintendo would be able to, have that barrier of service, but then again, you'd think that the likes of PS4, PlayStation, when the great hacking of 2008 or whenever it was, when PlayStation 3 got taken down over Christmas and everyone's credit card information got taken and whatever else happened to it during that time, people are just scumbags, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, in fairness to Nintendo, this was said it was taken from illegally by some means other than our service. Different from the PlayStation 1 in the fact that people have had they've maybe linked their accounts to some third-party services or whatever, which is then like one of those, if you grant access to this program, it will be able to access your account and stuff on your behalf. So people have probably gone, like that, and that has been hacked rather than necessarily Nintendo themselves. That's how I read that anyway. Maybe wrong. But I mean, it just shows you people are shits. We were talking about last week that Birdbot account, so that people can't buy Nintendo Switches without paying stupidly inflated costs, which is not what anybody wants right now. And then on top of that, people are having their accounts hacked and having their money spent. It's just like, do you know what? I mean, breaking news. You never thought of this yourself, but the world is full of weapons. There we go. That's it. That's it. I got hit by this. Got £3 taken. No, did you get it back? It'd be interesting to know that, Connie, if you got that money back from Nintendo or not, or have you reported it? That's the main thing. Obviously, change your passwords and stuff. Two-factor authentication as well. I mean, it's a little bit of a ball ache, but it's better having a little bit of a ball ache than having a potential cash flow situation, because all of those money is gone. Craig says, I'd watch you both do a triple threat.
Yeah, well, how long have you got?
I was going to say, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, lockdown only lasts a few months, Craig. God.
We'll still be playing 4 days later trying to get a win.
I don't think it'd be fun for anyone. Paul says, I think that's why Fortnite does so well, because yes, it's a BR, but they can literally do what they want in the game because it's cartoon/fantasy, whereas PUBG is more about that realistic feel. There's not really much places they can go. That's it. That absolutely is it. I mean, if you can just chop down trees in seconds and then build up buildings in seconds, plus you've got like harpoon guns and all that sort of stuff, shield potions, glug jugs, slurpy swamps. I mean, you can go wherever you want. Plus there was, I mean, season 1 they had like fucking, what was it, Dusty Depot got changed to Dusty Divot because of a meteor strike, and then aliens, and so yeah, they can do what they want. Not that that's a bad thing. That's a good thing for the content direction. But like you said, PUBG is confined by the realms of reality. If you're making a game that's trying to be a realistic BR, yes, I know. Obviously, you've got to take that with a pinch. They're almost oxymoron. A realistic battle royale, a realistic game where 100 people jump out of one aeroplane and kill each other to death. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You have to take that little bit with a pinch, and then the rest of it you can build from that. As long as you accept the baseline, then you build on the realism from there. Whereas Fortnite doesn't have to do that. I mean, you float in on a bus that's been held by a hot air balloon. It kind of says it all. Anyway, so yeah, if you have a Nintendo account, make sure that you check your account details. Have a look at your purchases. People have been scraping people's Nintendo Network IDs. These were the older accounts, not necessarily the Nintendo. What was the Nintendo? Just Nintendo accounts. There we go. So if you have a Nintendo Network ID, make sure you check your details. They could have been shared. 160,000 people's details have been shared online. Yeah. Connor says, report.
There's also something that I found out as well. If anyone's got ClearScore and you use the mobile app, if you go onto it, it actually on the desktop app, it tells you how many times that your password's been leaked.
There's a few sites. There's a site like, it's called haveibeenpwned.com or something like that, and that will tell you. So you type in your email address, and it tells you if your email has been used or anything like that. Not necessarily a password. Actually, I think it does. I think it cross-checks your email address and then tells you where it's been leaked and if your passwords and stuff have been with it. Yeah. See, that's good. Good stuff like that, fighting the fight against these online knobheads.
Absolutely.
Connor says, report and changed every password and added 2-step, but doesn't look like it's been refunded. But since I got off quite lightly, they can bloody keep it. Well, there we go. That's £3 well spent. That's £3 that you've spent on increasing your internet security. So that's a pretty good bargain, really, in that sense. I mean, it could be a lot worse. Anyway, speaking about large sums of money, I mean, if you did get hacked, like the Nintendo Network ID stuff, if you did have that taken, let's say you have your Fortnite details taken away, and they take up to, I don't know, maybe £2 million off you. How can you get that back? Tedious link. Well, maybe you could take part in Epic Games' 2 million Fortnite Championship Series Invitational. Pow! Yeah, tedious link. Complete. This is written by Andrew Hayward for eSports Insider, and it says, following last weekend's conclusion of Chapter 2, Season 2 of the Fortnite Champion Series, Epic Games has announced a new online invitational tournament. The Fortnite Champion Series Invitational will feature up to 600 players per region and award a total of $2 million, aka £1.62 million, in prize money across all regions. Get out of here with your more stories. Yeah. Epic Games will invite up to 500 players in each of the 7 competitive regions, which are Europe, NA East, NA West, Middle East, Brazil, Asia, and Oceania. Up to 400 of those players per region will then be invited based on performance in past Fortnite Champion Series events, with another 100 invited at Epic's discretion. I wonder if that's going to be the likes of content creators there, that extra 100. So another 100 players per region can qualify for the competition via open qualifying events. Unlike the duos format of the previous Fortnite Champion Series stage, the Invitational will be a solos tournament with every player competing individually. Kind of makes sense, because if you get to the tournaments, I mean, you can't really have duos sat around. I mean, is it going to be online? I don't know how this is going to work. Anyway, I'll shut up. I'll keep reading. We'll do that afterwards. Although Fortnite eSports hasn't had a large showcase event since last July's Fortnite World Cup, Epic Games has continually funded online tournaments across regions, platforms, and formats since then. According to eSports Earning, Fortnite competitions have awarded more than $85.1 million or £69 million to date, putting it third all-time behind Dota 2 and Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Esports Insider says, with a loose structure that seemed focused on more entertainment than consistency, Fortnite esports really needs those lavish live events to grab eyeballs. Still, until that's possible again, given the current pandemic situation, it's good to see Epic Games funding ongoing online competition. Bib.
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
I mean, I suppose £69 million is a decent amount.
I love the fact that the esports side of Fortnite is still going, because eventually, I do think, very much like we were mentioning with PUBG, there is still going to be high-end Fortnite players and PUBG players that are still going to be trying to play competitively. So this, again, is a massive incentive. It's going to be interesting to see how many of the full-time streamers that have played Fortnite religiously and then moved on to other things are going to come back to potentially playing this one again. But it says that it's an invitational. So by the word invitational, does that mean that they don't have to qualify, they're just going to get asked to arrive?
I read it as that for the majority of people. So it says up to 400 of those players will be invited based on their performances in past Fortnite Champion Series events.
Yeah. So they've still earned the right to be there because they've played well previously.
Yeah, it's also quite loosely worded though, saying up to 400 will be invited based on performances. It doesn't necessarily say people that have qualified. So they will be invited based on their performances. Okay, you've done pretty well, and you're still playing the game, or you've done pretty well and you've done okay, but your content is booming. Maybe we'll invite both of you at that way, with another 100 invited at Epic's discretion. Or maybe not. Maybe those 400 are based purely on stats, and then the extra 100 are the, okay, you're fine, you've got shitload of followers, you're good, you've got whatever. So kind of like we do with our own invitationals, we will pick people that are either friends of the channel or prominent content creators within the brand or whatever. So maybe that's what Epic will do. They'll invite people that are huge content creators or are very, very positive towards Fortnite. Good comment though. I mean, one of the things that Paul was saying before, that's why Fortnite does it so well. They can literally do what they want in the game, whereas PUBG is more realistic. This eSports Insider comment at the end says, with a loose structure that seems focused more on entertainment than consistency, Fortnite really needs those lavish live events to grab eyeballs, which is essentially kind of saying that because the game is based on entertainment rather than consistency, it's harder to have an esport based on it. I remember when the Fortnite World Cup qualifiers were on, and those aeroplanes got added to Fortnite, and people were just like, well, that's just ruined all of the esports because it's like an OP weapon, and that's because they don't have the consistency. They're going for the entertainment value, so you're going for some big bells and whistles event in the middle of football stadiums and things like that gets shitloads of people watching, but it's not necessarily hardcore esports with a fair competitive playing field. But then again, never is battle royale. That's there's always some sort of speculation. Not speculation. What's the word I'm looking for? Something spectacular. That's the word I was looking for. There's always something spectacular, be it RNG, be it whatever. So yeah, they do need the bigger esports stuff to grab eyes. But then again, like it says, at this point in time, if they're still investing with everything that's going on in the world, they're giving people a chance to win up to $1.62 million or £1 million or whatever it was, $2 million. You can't really sniff at that. I mean,
no.
I mean, if they want to invite ice cream upwards, I mean, me and Bib have. I mean, you could say pro. We've absolutely won tens of games.
Well, we've only played a couple of 100 games. That's an all right win percentage by me.
Yeah, but we weren't playing the ones really that we didn't win. We were there to give other people chances. We only really, if you think about it, played the ones that we actually won. So you could say we're on 100% or close to 100% success rate. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
What's that, chat? Bullshit. Okay. No, I do like. I like the idea of this. And one thing, I mean, I do like esports. We've spoken this. Myself and Bill obviously would naturally be into esports because we help run esports events. It makes sense. But I do like Fortnite esports for the fact that you get a little bit of the competitive edge. But it's like watching Saturday night family TV from the 90s, like watching the gladiators and things like that. You know it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, you're running at a guy in spandex called Wolf. So is it really serious? But you're also trying to get your own time and make sure you can leg it up the travelator. So yeah, it is serious. That's kind of like it's kind of like Fortnite esports. You're running around in a banana costume, throwing chug jugs to your mate at the side of you and whatever. You know it's a bit daft, but you all kind of like agree that okay, this is daft but serious. It's like we know it's stupid, but it means something. So
I mean, this is probably one of the weirdest analogies that I've ever heard in my life, but I'm running with it. I like it.
You can say weird, but it makes sense.
Absolutely.
Don't diss Wolf, says David. Psh, what's the Wolfman going to do? To be fair, he's probably about 90 odd now, and he's still probably in better shape.
Still been ripped as well.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
Intimate man.
Okay, I think we should call it there and go off and watch a full series of gladiators. Yep. Everyone, yep. Nice.
It's always on Challenge TV.
Oh, is it?
With Bullseye.
Nice. I used to love gladiators. Me and David, aka Fatman Dave 8572, my brother, we used to have gladiator placemats and everything when we were eating our dinners, which had the full sort of lineup. They're all doing their individual poses. That's when Saturday Night TV was exceptional.
Absolutely, that's what it was worth staying in for. Now we just get the same shit every single time.
Yeah,
boring.
I had my mate Martin message me last night when we were going on Warzone saying I'm going on. Just been watching Britain's Got Talent, which I don't begrudge because I used to watch all Britain's Got Talents and X Factors and stuff when it was kind of new and funny, but now I'm just at the point where it's like, oh, it's just the same rehashed shite. Anyway, he texted something like the lyrics and he's like, how funny or how good was that? And I was like, no idea, don't watch that shit, it's not gladiators, mate.
The thing is with Britain's Got Talent, they should stop singers from going on it.
Yeah, it's just not.
You've got their own competition. Why are singers on it? It makes no sense.
Yeah,
it's because you're clearly not good enough to go onto the. I mean, I'm saying that, but there's absolutely world class singers that go on Britain's Got Talent. But I mean,
yeah,
like,
why
competition dedicated for it?
Yeah, if you're a world class singer, then go into your singing competition. And that's it. Like X Factor, you've got to sing multiple different genres or whatever it was the last time I watched it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's pants, and the last time I watched it, there was like hot seats or whatever, and you had to like jump into a chair, or the elimination chair, or whatever the hell it was called. But yeah, it's not for me. It's just not for me. Do you know what? Let's just leave it there. Let's leave it there. Anyway, that's it. We'll call it quits there, since we've started waffling about Britain's Got Talent and Gladiators. And fun fact in the chat, Wolf was the only Gladiator to go on Sky One Remake, says David. Anyway, there we go. That is it for the show today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you missed the stories, let me run back through them. Some big ones out there, and obviously make sure you take care to avoid spoilers if you don't want to know anything about the biggest news of the day, which was The Last of Us 2 has been leaked. There are spoilers online. There are also lots of warnings online telling you to keep away from the content, because trying to keep up with the news will most likely get your eyes over some spoilers, and you don't want that. So just keep away from it. Don't give this well, as Bibby said, Totter the light of day by looking at their news articles. Forget The Last of Us 2 isn't out yet, but the story has been leaked. Keep away from it. Just do yourself a favour. Shroud thinks PUBG needs a sequel to be popular again, which is probably a nailed on point. Nintendo confirms that 160,000 Nintendo accounts have been accessed in hacking attempts. So if you have an old 3DS Nintendo account, not your new one for your Switch, but if you have an old NNID account, then make sure you check your details on that. There's a potential you could have been hacked, and there's a potential that if you have the same details from your NNID account to your Nintendo account on your Switch, then that could have been hacked too. So check your details, make sure you've not had any cash taken out. And finally, cash coming in. Fortnite is investing in a $2 million Champion Series Invitational. Me and Bib have turned it down because, we've just got bigger things to do, like the Scoop, but other content creators potentially could be involved. And that's about it. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow with more Scoopy stuff, but we aren't going to disappear today anyway. We are going to stay on for another, just a bit less than 2 hours, so feel free to stick around. We will end the Scoop, briefly go offline and come back online, but if you want something to do to keep you occupied through dinner time and so on, then feel free to stick around. But anyway, before we do partially disappear, Bib, anything you want to add?
Yes, there is. If you do see any video game news knocking around the social media platform of your choice, then do feel free to tag in your thoughts and opinions to @We've Got Vino, Graham_Day, and @Ice Cream Uploads on Twitter. We'll take your thoughts and impressions on the matter and our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Graham?
10 a.m. I think.
There we go. Ish.
10 a.m. ish. 10 a.m. ish. Like I said, the best way you can get notified is to hit follow on the channel. You get notified when we go live, and that way you can drop in and join in the chat, just like Paul, just like Fatman Dave, just like Connor, just like Ads, just like Asim, and everyone else that's been in the chat today. Thank you very much for being involved. As we said, we are going to disappear. We will be back shortly, but if not, 10 a.m. tomorrow for the very next episode of the show. Until then, have yourselves a very lovely day, and remember to
stay frosty!
Yeah.